The moment all of you sport bike riders have been waiting for. Today we'll be unveiling which helmet can call itself the best racing helmet for 2024. We've geared up our bike with our measuring equipment, sent our rider on countless test rides and gathered lots of interesting data. There are several newcomers, so sit back, grab something to drink as we'll take you on our quest to find the best racing helmet. Welcome riders, my name is Toon from Champion Helmets. Okay, race helmets. Race helmets are full-face helmets that are designed with a heavy focus on performance, aerodynamics and safety at high speeds. Although optimized for track, in practice we wear them on the street as well, so we've kept that in the back of our minds as well. We've tested every high-end race helmet on the market, and in this video we're going to find out which ones performed the best. Alright, with that out of the way, let's have a look. First of all, the contestants in this video. We focus on racing helmets made for a tuck position with a heavy focus on high-speed performance, great ventilation to keep your head cool in the toughest of conditions. The helmets we're going to cover in this video are the AGV Pista GP-RR, the Shoei XSPA Pro, the Bell Racestar Flex DLX, the Shark Racer Pro, the HSA Alpha 1 and many more. There are a bunch of interesting newcomers as well, which are the Shark Aeron GP, the HSA Alpha 12 and the Nolan X804 RS Ultra Carbon. And let's see if they're able to shake up our rankings. Let's get started. Alright, we're going to start by looking at the material of these helmets. Here, helmets can earn stars according to our material matrix, which looks at two different criteria. First, we'll look at the material a helmet is made of, and second, we look at the amount of outer shell sizes a helmet is available in. A helmet with many outer shell sizes is beneficial, as it makes sure that no matter what size you pick, you always get a more compact outer shell, which is not only safe, it also looks much better. The results show that most of our contenders scored very well here, and this is to be expected. Race helmets have to keep you as safe as possible at high speeds and still be comfortable to wear on track. All of our 4-star scorers either have a carbon fiber outer shell with 3 outer shell sizes or a fiberglass outer shell with 4 shell sizes. Right away, you see that the Bell Racestar is at the top of the list. This is a carbon fiber helmet and comes with an incredible 5 outer shell sizes, rightfully earning the full 5 stars for material, and is one of the only helmets to ever do so. It's nice to see our newcomer, the X804, placing below it with its carbon fiber outer shell and 4 outer shell sizes matching the Pista. A great start for the Nolan. And the rest of the list you'll see both fiberglass composite and carbon fiber helmets earn the same 4 stars. Carbon fiber helmets get rewarded a bit more for their material, so this means that the fiberglass helmets have 1 extra outer shell size. I also want to give a brief mention to the newcomer that didn't make it to the list, the Shark Aeron GP. It just barely misses out by half a star. Anyways, we still have a lot of parts to cover, so let's continue. Okay, time to talk about the weights of these helmets. This is an important segment because a lighter helmet prevents fatigue on the neck and it makes it easier to keep your focus, a detail that many racers will appreciate while going all out on track. We've weighed all of our helmets on the same scale in a size M, and we weigh them without any additional features like a communication system. Helmets can earn stars based on our weight matrix. Basically, the lower the weight, the more stars a helmet earns. Right away, the lightest helmet is still the Roof Aero 200 Carbon with a staggering result of 1104 grams. It also holds the title for the lightest race helmet for quite some time now, and I don't see it getting beat anytime soon. But it's not the only helmet with a great result. The LS2 Thunder Carbon also has a very impressive showing, and right below it is the Shark Aeron GP that didn't make the list in our last segment but managed a top 3 placing here. There aren't any real outliers to speak of here, their weights are relatively close to one another. So far, racing helmets have lived up to their expectations. Let's see how they perform in our next segment. Alright, let's talk about their visors. We judge the visor of a helmet according to our visor matrix, in which lots of different visor features are listed. Of course, not every visor feature is equally as impactful on your riding experience, and therefore we've weighed every visor feature based on what riders ask us about the most. Now that's clear, let's see how our contenders did. At the very top of the list is the all-new HSA Alpha 12, and this helmet really has every visor feature you could ask for. It comes with an additional dark smoke visor in the box. It places alongside Bell's Racestar, and this helmet has really been on a roll so far, earning another 5 stars. Very impressive on Bell. Both the XOR1 and the XSPA Pro also had great performances here, but they both earned 4 stars for different reasons. The XOR1 earned this score by having a solid visor all around and due to its extra dark smoke visor in the box. The XSPA Pro also had every essential visor feature, but it earned its 4.5 stars because of its superior visor mechanism. Unfortunately, the bottom of the list is kind of an awkward situation for the all-new Shark Aeron GP, as it matches the score of the Aero 200, a much older helmet. 3 stars is still a decent score, but the Aeron GP is a pretty expensive helmet, so we had hoped for a little more. Anyways, that concludes the visor. Onto our road test segments. First up is noise isolation, and here we'll be using a decibel meter that's placed near our rider's ear, and this decibel meter records the sound the same way as our rider hears it, and displays the decibel amount on the device in the middle. It's worth mentioning that race helmets are generally not designed to be quiet at all, as most racers wear earplugs out on track. But because many of you wear them on the street as well, it's still relevant. So let's see if there's any outliers. And the answer is yes. The Scorpion XO-R1 is definitely an outlier with its impressive result of 96 decibels. It's got a difference of 3 decibels to the XSPR Pro in second. And you might be wondering if those 3 decibels really make a difference, and I can assure you that they absolutely do. Every single decibel is clearly audible on the road, so an average measurement of 96 decibels is really impressive for the Scorpion. The rest of the competition scored around the 100 decibel mark, including 2 of our newcomers, the X804 and the Alpha 12. Still a pretty decent result, but it does show the louder nature of racing helmets. This graph really looks different for high-end modular helmets, for example, where there's more of a focus on noise isolation. Now that's it for the noise. Let's move on to our next road test segment, ventilation. Time to find out how well these helmets are able to keep your head cool. And in contrast to noise isolation, this part should be a strong suit for race helmets. We do this by placing another sensor inside the helmet that's connected to a thermometer, and this allows us to accurately measure the temperature inside the helmet. At the same time, we keep track of the outside temperature. Then we compare the temperature inside the helmet to the outside temperature, and the smaller the difference, the better a helmet is able to ventilate and the more stars it earns. Time to see how they performed. Looking at the results, you'll notice how small the difference is between these top 10 helmets. However, this time the number 1 spot is taken by a helmet we haven't seen much of, the Icon Airframe. This helmet managed to be 1 degree colder inside compared to the outside temperature. Below it are 7 helmets that managed to keep the inside temperature the same as the outside temperature. Among these 7 helmets are the usual suspects of this category, like the XSPR Pro, the RX-7V Evo, but also our 2 newcomers, the Alpha 12 and the Aeron GP. Although still less than 1 degree difference, the X804 had a half degree hotter inside temperature. It's still the same score as it didn't surpass the 1 degree difference mark. Our ventilation graph closes with the Racer Pro, and notice how the Aeron GP, the newer Shark racing helmet, managed to improve on their ventilation. Always good to see. And this goes to show how important ventilation is among race helmets, as they all performed so strong here. That's it for ventilation. Let's move on to our next segment. Okay, we've arrived at comfort, a very important part, and helmets can be fitted with every innovative feature, have the most aerodynamic design, but if they're not comfortable to wear, still be a non-starter for most riders, and vice versa. However, this does present a challenge for us, as comfort is very hard to express in concrete numbers. Therefore, for this segment only, we'll be relying on the more than 17 years of riding experience of our test rider. He's tested every single helmet in this top 10 and on our channel for that matter, so he can make a comparison like no other. Let's see how these helmets performed in terms of comfort. Shoei took the top spot. The XSPR Pro has a very detailed and comfortable inner lining that Shoei is known for. It had a blend of soft and grippy materials that make it a joy to wear and earn half a star more. Not to take away from the rest of the list. Honestly, in this price range, the inner liner of almost all of these helmets is made of very luxurious and comfortable fabrics. All of them are removable, washable and antibacterial, and if you'd like to know more about the fit of each of these helmets, we've got an in-depth review on our channel for all of them. That's it for comfort. Let's move on to our final test segment, features. Alright, features. Let's take a look at all the bells and whistles these helmets are equipped with. Here, helmets can earn stars according to our features matrix, where we've listed all kinds of features and weight them based on what riders ask us about the most. It's worth mentioning that race helmets are very different compared to other types of helmets when it comes to features. Common features like sun visors or speaker pockets for communication systems are less important, as these features don't add much on a racetrack. Instead, riders are looking for emergency quick release systems, a wind tunnel tested outer shell and FIM certifications. And keep in mind that an FIM certification is important if you're a serious racer, as more and more tracks and competitions require you to wear an FIM certified helmet. With this in mind, let's see how these helmets performed. The top of the list is shared by 5 different helmets, 3 of which get that score due to having every essential feature you could basically ask for. The bottom 3 helmets on this list are fitted with the essential features you need in a racing helmet, but don't offer anything besides that and therefore earn 3 stars. Again, if you'd like a more in-depth look at the features of each of these helmets, check out the individual reviews on our channel. Okay, great. Now, let's put all of our helmets side by side to get a clear overview of how they performed across the board. There will be a lot of information on the screen and we're going to go through it rather quickly. What's noticeable right away is the XSPR Pro, the Raystar DLX and the Alpha 1 are all very good all-round helmets that perform strong on each part. They place rather high in almost every list and there's hardly any weaknesses to be found there. And the same can be said for the Alpha 12, all the way at the bottom of this overview. It's one of this year's newcomers and it's giving its competition a run for their money. It's always good to see new helmets performing well. The other newcomers also did relatively well, though they did have clear weaknesses in our road test segments, particularly on noise isolation. And speaking of weaknesses, there's only one helmet in this overview that managed to earn a single star in a segment, and that's the AGV Pista RR on noise isolation. And while this is a very popular helmet with an average of 107 decibels, it shows that the Italians haven't given much attention to this at all. Furthermore, Bell's Raystar had the most 5-star performances, both in material and the visor, and continued to do well in the rest of our tests, a very impressive showing from Bell. But we have one last part left. With the results so far we get a great idea of how they stack up for performance, but there's one important aspect that's missing, and that is the value for money rating. Alright, so very interesting to see all of these quality features, but what happens when we start weighing in the price? And this brings us to the value for money part. This is where we calculate the price per star, which allows us to find out which helmet gives you the best value for money. We then use the price quality scores in our ranking to assign these helmets with a value for money score, and this score gives us a much better idea of how these helmets compare and how their price relates to their performance. Enough said, let's look at the results. At the very top is our newcomer, the HSA Alpha 12, a very impressive helmet from HSA. Its price tag is significantly lower than almost all of its competitors, but still managed to perform just as good, rightfully earning our #1 spot in the value for money rating. Last year's winner, the Shui XSPR Pro, also can't keep itself away from the top of every list. And while it's not a budget-friendly helmet, it performed so well that it still has an excellent value for money rating, which is not easy to achieve. And I briefly want to mention Bell's Raystar in third. This helmet is similar to the Shui above it, in the sense that it has a hefty price tag, but it makes up for it in results. It couldn't quite match the XSPR Pro, but it's still a very impressive result. The Shark Aeron GP has an interesting placing further down the list, and this helmet also has a huge price tag, but its performances were not good enough to make up for it, significantly reducing its value for money rating. And the same can be said for the X-Shadow 4 when you compare it to the Thunder Carbon above it. They have the same average of stars, but the Nolan is much more expensive, making it hard to compete in this section. Alright, so far for the value for money. This is the last part, and now it's time to add up all of our data and line them up. Alright, this brings us to the final part of our quest. It's time to answer the burning question: which one of our contestants is the best race helmet of 2024? We'll go through them quickly, but start at the bottom to keep things interesting. In 10th, we've got the classic AGV Pista, which is a really great helmet, but it gets held back by its massive price tag. It's also extremely loud, and that does not help it in our ranking. Up next is the Aeron GP in 9th. This helmet had decent results throughout our testing, especially on ventilation and comfort, where it earned 4 stars, but it really struggled on noise isolation, where it only earned 2 stars. Moving on, we've got the LS2 Thunder Carbon in 8th, and this helmet is much more budget friendly than the ones below it. It performed well in our tests, especially on weight, where it was the second lightest race helmet. It did struggle a bit near the end on comfort and features, where it earned 3 stars, which is not necessarily a bad result, but with fierce competition like this, it's not enough to get it higher on our ranking. At 7th, we find our second newcomer, the Nolan X804. This helmet had good results throughout our testing. It was even near the top of the list for material and had a solid 4 stars on every other segment, apart from weight. It did have a weakness though, and that was its 2-star result on features. In 6th is the Scorpion Exo R1 Evo Carbon. It had an amazing result on our visor segment and managed to be the quietest race helmet of them all. However, it couldn't quite keep this up throughout the rest of our tests, where it scored 3 stars on ventilation, comfort and features. In 5th, we find the Arai RX-7V Evo. This helmet scored 4 stars for every segment apart from the weight. Simply an amazing all-rounder. However, while it has consistent high scores, it gets held back by its €900 price tag to some extent. Alright, the first helmet at the top of the list is the HSA Alpha 1, which remains to be a very reliable helmet. It's a FIM certified all-rounder that only showed a slight weakness on weight. Apart from that, it earned 4 stars on each segment. It earned the same amount of stars as the RX-7V Evo we mentioned earlier, but is €200 lower in price. Here we go, we enter our top 3 and the bronze medal goes to Bell's Race Star. This helmet was an absolute killer. It got 5 stars for material and for its visor, and that's the most 5-star finishes of any race helmet. It struggled a bit on weight and on ventilation, but ended with 4 stars on ventilation, comfort and features. It earned one of the highest average amounts of stars, so well done to Bell. Now it's time to answer the burning question. Which helmet can call itself the best race helmet of 2024? Is it last year's champion, the Shoei XSPR Pro, or the brand new contender, the HSA Alpha 12, that has been nothing short of impressive throughout our testing? It's a battle between a price to performance helmet versus an all-out performance helmet. In second place we find the HSA Alpha 12, and that means that the XSPR Pro is still the best racing helmet available. Still, the Alpha 12 did more than just shake up our rankings. Its lowest scores are 3 stars results on weight and features, and it earned 4 stars for every other segment and even managed a 5-star result for its visor. It has the lowest euro per star rating of any contender, showing that racing helmets don't have to be 800 euros or more to perform well. An excellent score for HSA. But it wasn't enough to beat the XSPR Pro, a race helmet without any real weaknesses. It's lightweight, one of the quieter racing helmets, has excellent ventilation, earned 5 stars on comfort, and it has a great visor. It's been on the market for a while, but it still sets a very high standard to this day, and one that very few race helmets have been able to get close to. Alright, that's it for this year's top 10 race helmets. Hopefully this video gave you some insight on how these high-end race helmets compare to each other. And let us know what you think of the final results in the comment below. All of these race helmets are available at championhelmets.com, where we offer the lowest price guaranteed and have very sharp discount bundles. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more top 10s like this in your YouTube feed. Buy smart, ride safe, and until next time.